heading over to the Civic Center. That's where they were handing out water and MREs and tarps after the last hurricanes. But there's the internet's been down. It's staying down. The communications have been staying down. Like I said, this is day 2 after the storm. Yesterday it came up for about 30 minutes. I was able to answer a few messages. People, are you okay? Where you been? And then as soon as I got a few of them out, and then it was dead again, and it stayed dead since then. And you can't call anyone. You can't. That's why it's good to keep your landlines if you live down here, man. Don't, because I'm sure people with the landline can at least still call out to other people outside of the disaster area. Another gas station taken out. But this is the big intersection you got to watch out for people coming through. But the crews are hard at work. There's just so many transformers that are down and poles that are down, not just wires. That they said there were about 2,000 miles of line that are down in Louisiana right now. But again, these big oaks, they lose some branches, but these suckers, they stay where they stay put. It's incredible how the forces of these are 200 and 300-year-old trees that you see down here too. I mean, these suckers have been here since before the American Revolution. When it's incredible. But again, we're not getting any information out about any kind of when FEMA's going to set up, if they're going to set up. They should already be with there's still no water in town. I mean, it barely has any. There's some with some little bit of water pressure, but there McDonald's got hit hard. Look at that, man. That's a new look for McDonald's. Look at that, son of a bitch. The Golden Arch is held, but not by much. That's doing, but we do have a line going in, so maybe there is something happening here. But just look at that. That's crazy. But all right, well, here we go. I guess we'll get in line. It's not long. Maybe they just started. We'll see. I'm just hoping this isn't one of those deals where you're waiting in line and then the line goes over there and then it goes around the backside there. But everybody's sitting in line to get up there to say, oh, no, we don't have anything yet. I don't know. We'll see. All right, well, this has gone really quick, man. I've only been here like maybe 15 minutes or so. And if that, and they're moving through pretty quick. But again, they're not giving, there's nothing but water they're distributing. So apparently it doesn't take long to throw some water in the truck, but it's a start, like I said. Meanwhile, I've got a house with 2/3 of the roof torn off of it, open to the elements, that really need some FEMA tarps, and they're not delivering. So I had a friend that's supposed to be bringing in a big pile of them from somewhere out east of the state, I believe, but he's not here yet, so we'll see. Well, they're giving 2 cases of water. I got my 2 cases of water per car. They wouldn't let me get any excess. And they are. My neighbors are elderly, and one's about to go in the hospital for surgery. And I'm like, can I get at least something for my neighbors? And he's like, no, man, we're supposed to be per car. So I said, well, do I get back in line and go through again? Yeah, I don't know. I'm homeless, man. I'm just here helping out. My house got destroyed. Shit, dude. So it's like I said, I got what I could. I've still got water, so if anybody actually needs some, I can give them some. I can give them these, and then, like I said, it's just a matter of using the right amount of gas, not burning up your gas, trying to, go back and forth for whenever they actually start getting real stuff in that you need, like your meals and your ice and your tarps. You're gonna have to come out and do this again. And if I'd have had somebody else with me, they could have gotten 2 cases as well. It wasn't per car, it was per person, I think it was, but because I saw 2 guys load up 4 cases. But yeah, so but I got some water here now, and like I said, I've got some for the neighbors, and yeah, we'll just take it as it comes. But that's it, man. You gotta help each other out whenever you know you're most of the good at least half of the town has evacuated. I haven't heard any numbers because of course there's no let's stop by and see. I remodeled this building here and painted it about 7 years ago. Did some roof repair on it. If you see there, my roof repair stayed on that. My paint job still looks good. I'll be damned. Look at that roof intact, man. I swear to God. Those are the old windows, the old skylights that are blown out on it. But it even the north side held up. That's the side I didn't paint because I couldn't get around to it. But man, that's pretty compared to those buildings over there that are stripped down bare. I did on another video the porch behind the neighbor's house that I added a porch on about. I said 12. I think it was like 13 actually years ago, 13 to 14 years ago now. Right before I got down here, but yeah, the porch is still perfectly intact. Not a board out of place, and the metal roof on it is still exactly like it's supposed to be. Didn't lose a screw. So, like I said, ever since I've been down here, you know, if I'm building anything, I'm building it to withstand a hurricane for whenever it comes, and whether it's a fence, whether it's but yeah, that's part of what I do down here. People, that's why so many people are willing to wait for me to do their work, because they know when I do shit, it's permanent. That's the other and of course that's no guarantee, but like I said, at least I try to make sure that everything I can do, you know, I don't do anything that's not anchored 24 inches in the ground with concrete, at least 24 inches. And I lag bolt, you know, big 7-inch lag bolts on everything, 8-inch lag bolts. And there's the museum. Military museum. The glass is intact, though. That's pretty good, but that building there fell into it. But yeah, I mean, just anywhere you go on this, there's not a street in this town that you can go that there's not some kind of extreme damage to it. A majority of the buildings, and minimal damage or minor damage to every building. And that's what he was just asking me, because I asked him about the tarps. He goes, did you lose your house? I said, well, the one I was about to move into lost 2/3 of the roof, and I could use some FEMA tarps, but the 120-year-old house I'm in was unscathed, you know, didn't touch it. So, man, it's something, I mean to say. We're gonna be dealing with this for a long time. It's it actually now they've stopped giving out estimates of when power will be back on, because the more and more damage they find, and like I said, they find these there's another pole right there. You know, that you can't fix that. You got to replace that. You know, but they're saying it could be up to 6 weeks right now. From one of the last reports I heard, we could be looking at up to 6 weeks before power is restored. I don't know how you can stay here and live that long without any power and contaminated water, and because they're having problems in New Orleans right now because the sewage pumps are fed by a separate major generating system, and it's down, so they're having sewage starting to back up in there from what water their water pressure was gone, and now when the water pressure gets back up, they're going to have massive sewage backup. So it's it's just going to go from bad to worse. The more they get something improved, it's going to take away from what little services and systems they have working. So, but yeah, we're back up to downtown now. So minimal gas use for a pretty good return. Pretty good return on investment on this trip out. You know, life-sustaining water. That's something. That's. And here's the old church. It was leveled during Gustav, the last either Gustav or Ike. I can't remember. Ike came in right after, but yeah, it looks like it fared pretty damn well. The trees again, the oaks have lost limbs, but they're intact. Look, you can see that right there. That pole is collapsed. It's It's a big tie-in with a butt. Like you see all those lines that are tied into it. That's not something that's easily fixed. That's you're fucked. Fakia, that's the big jewelry store here. That's where my buddy works. He they look like they weathered it pretty well too. And we'll go ahead and take a trip across the twin spans and see. That's the old courthouse is still standing, and then of course we didn't have enough flood to flood the cemeteries because of course everything's buried above ground in Louisiana because the ground's saturated. You got to build mausoleums. When I was there after Katrina, they were paying the bounties for turning in coffins that had been uplifted by the water from the mausoleums and floated out. And you'd find them along the ditches. There's the hospital. It took some pretty bad hits. They said that's Terrebonne. It's Ochsner. It's closed down now. But twin spans, of course, they're made to withstand major shit. But this is taking us over the intercoastal, looking down on, it doesn't look too bad from up here, along here, but then like I see along the intercoastal, this is north and south, so it was taking, it was with the wind. But that's the intercoastal right there we're going over. In the distance, you can see the Coast Guard helicopters, maybe, I don't know, flying off over there. They've been flying in and out everywhere for the last few days. But, yeah, you can see roofs torn off. These were protected. Looks a little bit more. There's some blue tarps out there. You can see people probably still have from last storms, able to cover their houses. That place got pretty destroyed down there. These buildings' roofs torn off. That's the homeless shelter right there. Looks like at least they sustained. They weathered it. Actually, I'm coming across here looking to see I gave my neighbor my gas cans, and the last of my gas, I had about 3-4 gallons of gas left. I gave it to her. She's the sheriff deputy, to run their generator last night, and she went and found some gas and filled up her cans, and I gave her my cans to fill up to use. But she's out on call. She's out working, and he's gone, so I can't talk to her and find out where to get gas for my other buddy. His generator is dead, and so yeah, he needs gas. And they're thinking they have to go out to Morgan City, which is probably 45 minutes to get through shit from here now after the storm. So, but I thought she said it was over here on the east side, but I don't, I just don't know. Let's see, just like that, I'm surprised this street's even open here, because you can see those two are leaning over, and this one's leaning over, literally just hovering over the. I don't even want to drive under the son of a bitch, but this is just hanging out over the road. There you go. I'm following them. She didn't even go wide enough to miss it, but yeah, we're going around. We're not going under. Because with my luck, that'd be the time it gives. So yeah, this is just a little tour of the damage from the other side of town, and it's hard to say because sometimes they lose a lot of the big trees in the previous storm. There's another big pine tree, but you see these root balls. All of them are rolled over. A lot of them aren't snapped. They're just pushed over by the wind because like I said, we had 2 weeks of heavy rains prior to this, so the ground's pretty saturated. It's already wet to begin with. There's my Rouse's over here on the east side. It looks like it sustained minimal damage. They had it boarded up, protected. Oh, the old bowling alley there did not do so well. That sucker's chewed up bad. And the Domino's, their roof, that metal roof, there is history. So, yeah. The Bowl South is going to be out of action for a while. Look, they're destroyed inside, trashed to hell. The new car spa looks like it got a pretty good hit. We got people here doing stuff. Don't know. That's closed off. There must be something. Oh, there's fire. They're doing repair down there. I said they got to close off the streets because they got so many people driving around. There they are doing those tarps. That's the FEMA tarps going up. But yeah, they were saying they couldn't hardly do their line repair because they have to keep stopping for people driving by. It's a little dumbass. If you see people working on your street, stay the hell off the fucking street. You know, it doesn't take a damn genius to know you're in the damn way. So, stupid people. They're everywhere, but there's an overabundance of them down here. I can tell you that without bias. And then there's the Save-A-Lot. You ain't gonna be saving much over there here for the time. But that Little Caesars, they may be opening that summit up and serving pizza. No, it's glass. It's smashed out. Nope, it's done. So yeah, we're not gonna go much farther. It's up to about to the Walmart here. This is usually as far as I come on the east side. If I don't go to my regular Walmart, I come over to this one. But it's got some damage to it, I'm sure, but it's still standing. The Dollar Tree, it's a little torn up, and then you can still see the water standing out there, man. So it's O'Reilly's is open. They look like they're probably doing some business. Some of these companies are still open and doing business with the card swipe, where you can use the app on your phone. Another pole across the street, where you can use the app on your phone to run charges. So they're only taking debit cards. But if you don't have any money in the bank, you can't put any in because the ATMs are down because there's no damn power. So yeah, it's I have plenty of cash. As long as people are doing cash deals and they want to swap some gold, I can trade them a little gold too. I was thinking of having to swap gold in a more futuristic, apocalyptic scenario, not a locally. We have no power, no energy, and if you don't have cash, you got to barter and trade. So, like that dumbass, he just ran through and without stopping at this light because there's no signals. But there's the little Mexican food place. It didn't last too well. Signs down everywhere, of course. So, but I'm not seeing any gas stations or any lines from any gas stations or anything like that. So I'm thinking there's O'Reilly's. When I came down here after Katrina in New Orleans, O'Reilly's was the only fast food place that was open. I'd never even heard of them. But man, I tell you, when they're the only burger in town, that was the best damn burger you ever had. And then the Shack, that's a really good I just ate there a couple weeks ago. Really good seafood. They're down. Some big wires across, so I think we're gonna. I was just thinking up here where it breaks, kind of goes into heading down toward. Now this is heading down the Bayou where we've been driving down this road. And see, like that transformer's crashed, broke the pole, fell to the ground. But yeah, once you get about to this point, now you're heading down towards Cocodrie and like I said, down the Bayou, Dulac. Sonic didn't weather too well, but same thing. The ball field, you see all those poles just larged over. But yeah, I was thinking maybe there might be something down on this end coming up from the Bayou that they might have open for the people down there that might have survived. You can see they had some big fuel tanker trucks out at the Civic Center where I was, but the old plane out there got beat up a bit. Still standing though. Yeah, this is the one I was hoping might be open, but it looks, they got the signs on. How do they have power for the sign? They must have their generator up, but they don't have, their pumps are destroyed. But yeah, you can see it's still got some lights. That's the casino. Oh, if they had pumps, they're underwater. So, but yeah, this is the casino. I bet you look at that. Look at that cinder block. All that down. That's cinder block walls, and those are all the machines there, the gambling machines that are sitting there exposed. The poker machines, and that's cinder blocks that are just laid there, crumpled and destroyed. So, again, it's just just the amount of damage across the board on some really solid structures is just amazing. But 180 mile an hour winds, and they may have even been higher than that. They lost them down at Grand Isle when they hit 145 because it blew out their wind detector. It blew out the spinners, so they couldn't register anything higher than that. But yeah, I heard confirmation that we had minimum 165 mile an hour winds on the, in Houma. And like I said, I was out there sitting in it, standing in it, and there was some that blew through that had to be, like I said, I was guessing 180, but again, 160, 180, you can't. You've never seen anything more than maybe 120. But again, tree, one of the lurched over, just pulled out of the ground. So all right, well, I'm gonna head back into town and see if I can get a hold of my neighbor and find out where the gas may be for my buddy to be able to run his generator and keep his refrigerator going. So, all right, my friends, that's it for now. I've decided to go over here. I got a customer over here on the east side of town. What they call the Prospect Bridge that crosses over the Intercoastal on that side, and the shipyards. And she's 70 years old. She's got a generator for her house, but I just built an extension onto her house with a wooden deck that we're going to eventually close in for a room, and did a bunch of re-siding and repairs and stuff on hers. And I haven't been able to talk to her, so I'm gonna drive by. She's a bridge tender, like right here. See, this is actually a drawbridge here that lifts up on that superstructure and raises up the whole roadway to cross, let roads through. She's in a bridge where she goes out and hooks the ropes, and it cranks it open like a gate to let the boats, usually shrimp boats and people just moving back and forth the Intercoastal in and out. Sometimes she'll have 20 or 30 boats in a night working 12-hour shifts. So that's 70 years old. And but yeah, she's Miss Annie's is well known for her for her tenacity. So I'm gonna go by and just see if she's. I don't know if they have her working now or not. She works down the bayou about 20 minutes from here, and but I'm sure they're still going to need. I mean, I don't know. Like here, there's trees down across the bayous and across the waterways. Some big trees, so boats couldn't even get through them anyway. So I don't know if they're running boats on the Intercoastal or not. The waterways, if she'd be. Like I said, I'm India. I'm just going by to see if she's there and check on her. But yeah, there's a considerable amount of damage here on this side as well. There's another one of those. Superstructure. I'm actually driving to a line here looking at this. It's got lines right across the road. But yeah, that's another one of the big superstructures for this is just a waterway that gets you to the Intercoastal. So that's what these are for, is for letting basically pleasure boats and smaller craft through. And then that's called Prospect Bridge there. It's kind of like the twin spans, only it runs a little longer and it's more spread out. Doesn't I don't think it goes quite as high on the arc. I guess it probably does. They got to have a minimal clearance, but at any rate. So, but she lives back here just underneath that bridge over on right off the bayou. So she could have had some serious flooding to her house. But her house sits almost 5 feet in the air. I thought they may be open, but they're not. They're just a staging area. Her house, that's the other houses over here. Houses are everywhere in this town, but the dollar store took a major hit. Look at that, another cinder block wall just destroyed. Tearing out cinder block walls. And these apartments back here, more poles down. Church took a hit over there. But there's the Terrebonne Water Tower. It's still standing, that's good. And then this company here owns most of the buildings back in this part of the shipyard because they're all welding, pipe fitters, oil field, all kinds of shit. So they look like they came off in pretty good shape. They must have been maybe the bridge protected them some or something here. But I don't know. We'll see when we get up here. Well, I've just left my second customer's house now. You can see this road would be blocked off, but the city came through and at least cut the trees out on one side. Is what they're doing just to allow traffic to get through and allow the repair crews to be able to get through. Is all that they're doing. But this customer, this guy, he's an older man and wife. They evacuated. He just had a surgery himself. The lady I went to see, she had a heart attack and a stroke a month and a half ago, and that's why I hadn't heard from her. But she's got a tree blocking her driveway. She can't get out at all, and so I gave her. I got those 2 cases of water at the Civic Center, so I went ahead and gave her those. Her roof's leaking and her back door blew out. She's got a tarp over it, so I'm about to go get some metal and try to go back over there and cover that up for her. But she's got no water to flush her toilet. They don't have water. They had water flowing okay up until yesterday, and now they have no water at all, whereas we were out of water the day it started. But so I've got a bunch of she has all these 5-gallon gas cans in her shed, so I'm going to fill them up, a bunch of those up with water, and take them back to her to have to flush her toilet. And she's got drinking water. She's got some more bottled water, so she should be. And she's got a bunch of she's got a gas-powered generator wired hooked into the house, piped into the house. So her house is like a refrigerator in there. It was freezing, so she's in good shape as far as that goes. So that's good. So, but yeah, I've given away all my water. I had my friends over here needed some. I'm gonna have to go back through, make another run back through the Civic Center, and hopefully they will still. They'll still be having some. I don't know how many pallets they were going to be keep reloading out there, because they were running out pretty quick. But you can see there's some. Like I said, a lot of these blue tarps, I'm pretty sure, are leftovers from the last hurricanes. Because there's nothing in here now, around here now, that you could get like that. So, but yeah. But the other good thing was my deck that I built for her. And the siding that I just re-sided a bunch of her house, and built the deck and put all the lattice around it and everything. Not a single piece was no damage at all. It's like nothing ever happened to it. So man, so far I'm 100% on everything that I've built and done over the last 14 years here. Looks like they're selling water here, but are they doing gas? I don't think they're doing gas, no. But they do have, they got ice too. They got water and ice. Well, I don't need ice, but my neighbors do, so I'm going to tell them. And yeah, that's that empty lot used to be the Seabreeze Hotel. That was a 2-story hotel that ran the whole thing. I tore that whole thing down by myself with a sledgehammer and a sawzall, basically. about 10 years ago. I've done a lot of, you name it, I've done it in this fucking town, I'll tell you that. That's why I don't advertise. I don't have to, man. I've already got customers calling me now saying, before the storm, put me on the list for your first repairs. But here, let's get back to my buddy here. I'll stop and tell them, hit the Civic Center. If they need ice, they can go up there and grab some ice. Well, for anybody who's caught up in my last few Gold Guy videos, you'd hear the rooster. That's where the rooster lived. And he got hit pretty hard, but he's still around. He was crowing this morning. So the rooster made it. But yeah, that's the back side of my house. That's the top of my house right over there. You can see in that gable. So at any rate, I'm delivering water to that lady that needs to have these 5-gallon jugs of water so she can have some flushable water. It sounds like actually that my internet's just back on. It comes on for a minute or two, it'll notify you, and then it'll say no service. So it's been doing that for the last 3 days. Messages come and go and they can't get out. So, but yeah, that's it. All right, I've dropped off the water jugs to my friend, my customer, the old lady there in the trailer, no insurance. She can't get insurance on that house that she lives in because she's too close to the intercoastal. But the scumbags didn't tell her that when she bought the house. She found out after the fact. So she's got a house that she cannot insure and lives in a hurricane zone at the edge of the intercoastal, where if that storm surge had come up here like they said, approaching 12 feet, coming up at the head of the hurricane eye moving in on us, it would have definitely put her where she would have been in at least 8 feet of water in her house, where she would not have survived. So that's just horrible. And her house is I've done extensive work on it for it's eaten up with termites, and they came and treated it, and they're still alive. They don't have to come down off the house as long as the wood is moist that they're in the walls eating. And until I physically tear the walls out and expose the termites, they cannot be completely eliminated. So they're still in there eating the shit out of her poor house. And I need a tarp to put on her roof because it's leaking badly now. So we're coming up the other side of the bayou now. We came down there's a road on each side of the bayou. Here's Bayou Terrebonne, and you can see, I mean, it's still brimming. The water's pushed up to the houses there, when normally it would be, you'd see about 3 or 4 feet of bank sometimes. This is probably still holding it 5 feet above level, 6 feet above level, but when you're on a flat or below sea level, it doesn't take much to push you up. I say, just like that water right there, if it had been a storm surge like they said, that water could have been up in her house. And as you can see, we've got trees and major shit down here, and we're gonna drive over these. Just those big wires could spike my little sides of my van tires here. So, but yeah, just they went through and, just like I said, cut the branches out of the way to let these road crews through. On the way here, there was about a convoy of about 6 trucks that were carrying. 2 of them were carrying whatever they are, 60-foot telephone poles on those pole trailers to replace the hundreds that are snapped and broken down here. This is another part of town again, and it's all the same. It's the whole town is destroyed. And like those trailers, it's amazing those trailers are even still standing because trailers are, they're just crumple boxes whenever wind gets a hold of them. So no lights, everybody, like I said, there's no power anywhere, so all the lights, you just got to watch the intersections when you come through. But yeah, I mean, it's just extensive damage from one side of the town to the other. Again, more trailers, fences down, but the trailers, I mean, they're torn up a little bit, but they weren't. The house across the street from me is thrown off of its pedestals, but the trailer's still sitting there up on concrete blocks, just like that house is. That's an old house. It's been here for quite a while. Look at that, just the smashed, rubble in the street of these power lines and poles, snapped and broken like twigs. Got major structures just wiped out. Look at that house just destroyed. That tree just wiped it out. That's what I was afraid was going to happen with my magnolia on my house. That giant magnolia tree it weathered it like it has from probably the last 50 or 60 years. I guess that tree probably would have been there, that'd be that big. At least 40 years. But it's been there a while. But yeah, there's the shrimp boats that come up to the intercoastal here. You can see some over there where they were swamped. Yeah, got laid over, and now we got here, there's one that snapped that was an old, you can see it was rotten and dying there. It snapped that one out. But we got full debris blocking the road here down to one lane. Again, trees wiped out, power poles. Tree takes out the power pole, road's blocked. That's what happened to a lot of our cell towers down here. Knocked them out. That main Look at that, all those big ones there are just snapped. But yeah, it just took out the towers. And now they're having to reset everything. And like I said, I haven't checked since I was on the way over here. It sounded like I was getting internet back up, but it's done that a few times, and then it just shuts off. It doesn't, like, see here, these dumbasses aren't going to let people just actually get through. You got to, like, pick your way through, instead of parking and waiting for the cars to go by, and then you let the next group come through. But that takes a little bit of, a little common sense to say, okay, well, those guys are coming, let them through, and then I'll go. Like this guy, he's going to come head on, and I'm not slowing down. Even though there's a pile of glass in the, like, here's an ambulance. Now we pull over for those. A lot of those running today. Those and those police. What do you call them? Broncos and things that they drive, SUVs. They've been ripping through town. Yeah, that roof is history there. So, all right, well, we're back up to heading over the twin spans. So that was the other side of the trip of the destroyed Houma. This side over here, that's where I went back into this neighborhood to check on my other old friend and customer. That's a light, a street light laying there in the road. I'm sure nobody's gonna run us down. But yeah, his neighborhood back there, you can see those trees are sheared off at the top, but at least they didn't crush the house behind them or under them. But yeah, there's a lot of damage. That one's collapsed. This is where, not this side, this is the, again, we're about to go over the intercoastal coming the other way. This is basically looking north, and that's where the shipyards are, back there where you see those big buildings. But that's where the pole trucks were headed, was on this side of the bayou over here, working this neighborhood. So hopefully they'll be sending some down in my neighborhood, because we got a bunch of them snapped down over there too. But you can see all those houses. You can see there's some FEMA tarps. And here's the bayou. But yeah, man, it's something.